It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. Well, we saw the big news yesterday. You know what I'm talking about. Synnex, Tech Data, coming together, forming a $57 billion distributor. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the document imaging channel, this $57 billion distributor is really in position to change the game. And you know, Tech Data and Synnex coming together could change the game for a lot of reseller sectors. IT services as a great example, software providers, cloud service providers. So they can change the game. They could bring great value to the marketplace. They could bring great value to those OEMs and to those manufacturers of software that want to move it into the end user's office. Tech Data is a great place to accomplish that. And as they grow into this $57 billion industry by combining forces with Synnex, they could bring some real added value to a whole lot of players in the space. But today what I want to talk about is my friends in the document imaging channel and how this $57 billion distributor could really shake shit up and disrupt that old 1980 business model in ways that most dealer owners can't even imagine. Can't even imagine, or they refuse to imagine. We know that during COVID, the customer has gotten this huge awareness that those big giant A3s aren't important to him anymore. Oh, I'm sure there's a vertical or two, and there might even be one dealer left in the whole world that thinks that the whole world's going to continue to buy A3 until the end of time. But for the most part, we all agree that A3 is being replaced by A4, and it will replace enough of the A3s to really disrupt the old A3 business model. It might not replace all of them, but it'll replace enough of them to really cause pain to that old model. But I want my friends in the document imaging channel to think about the United States. You know, Tech Data can do what I describe in the United States. They can do it all over the world. They're a global company. So depending on where your marketplace is, just use your imagination, if you will. I want you all to think about our friends over at Tech Data, this $57 billion distributor now when they merge with Synnex. You know, Tech Data is down here in the Tampa Bay area. I want you to think about this United States map here and think about how Tech Data forming relationships with all the OEMs. And quite honestly, folks, Tech Data sells a lot of the OEMs products that you sell. You know, they sell a lot of their A4s. You buy Lexmarks through distribution. Synnex is a big distributor for Lexmark. You know, Canon A4s have been sold through Tech Data forever. HP A4s have been sold through Tech Data forever. The IT community has sold more A4 during this pandemic through Tech Data than I'll bet you all the OEMs combined on A3 in this marketplace anyway. I'll bet you if you called up Tech Data and said, how much A4 product and supplies have you sold in the last 12 months? That number would be a big, big number compared to the A3 that wasn't sold in the United States over this last year. So if the end users are already getting A4 equipment through resellers that have relationships with Tech Data, the question for my friends in the document imaging channel, how does this merger between Tech Data and Synnex, you know, how does it affect them? Well, it affects them in a couple of different ways. I want you all to think about the biggest dealer in America. As far as that goes, they're the biggest dealer, as we describe a dealer, a company that sells print equipment, supplies that equipment, and services that equipment. Who's the biggest? Well, the biggest is Xerox. You know, I told you all this before. Xerox is not an OEM. They only make a couple of machines. Xerox is really the biggest dealer in the world. They're a $7 billion dealer. You know, they've been selling Konicas and they've been selling Ricos and whatever dealer that Global Imaging bought. You know, so they have a multitude of products on the table. They have the ability to sell and service whatever they decide to sell and service. They don't need to buy a manufacturer to have a product. They just need a relationship like they had with Fuji. But maybe that relationship's better served if it's with our friends down at Tech Data. What if they go to Tech Data and say, look, just form some relationships with some of these OEMs. We'll give you a major, massive contract, and we'll buy all that stuff through you. We'll even buy the A3s, something you've never even touched before. But go ahead and build those relationships up with that OEM, you $57 billion distributor, and we'd be more than happy to work with you. Don't think that's a possibility? Well, you're probably naive. Because possibilities become probabilities, and probabilities become realities quicker than ever. And I believe that to be a real possibility. Think about those mega dealers in the United States. We all know who they are. You know, we got three, four companies in excess revenues of $250 million. Some of those mega dealers are going to get out. The private equity realized, well, we're never going to go back to where we were. We're never going to get what we thought on this. Let's dump it. So they'll probably dump some of these at really good prices. Others will gobble them up and build a bigger footprint. Ladies and gentlemen, this $57 billion distributor has the potential to really shake some things up. And one of the things that's got to get shooken up is this insanity about protected territories. Protected territories won't exist. They will not exist by the year 2025, if not sooner. Because you're going to have people like Xerox, and you're going to have people of these mega dealers, whoever they might be, you know, and they're going to be out there pumping products all over the place. They're going to have service footprints all over the map. And they may decide that it makes more sense to buy from a big distributor, but we're the servicing arm. Maybe they're a SKU for that distributor. Can you imagine that? You know, enterprise accounts have been dealing with Tech Data for a long, long time. You know what they don't have as a SKU at Tech Data? Probably one of the only things in the world is A3 equipment. They just really don't have a SKU for that. There was no mechanism for that. It was too complicated. You know, think about all the crazy parts that go on in A3, the booklet finisher and the brackets A and the B and the, I mean, it's just they made it so damn complicated. You have to have a degree. You have to have a degree in copy machines to figure out how to sell one. Little sarcasm there, but you know what I mean? It was too complicated. But as all those A3s are being replaced with A4s, the complexity gets replaced too with easiness. And so now, hell, Tech Data could fill up warehouses with stuff. Xerox is one of their partners. The mega dealer is one of their partners. This fantasy about OEMs going direct to the end user in our space, the print space, it's just not, it's going to end. I mean, the two biggest players, Ricoh and Konica, what happens? We're going to find out in the next couple of weeks, but their finances are a train wreck. They haven't been able to integrate other services profitably. We see what they did, Konica did with All Covered. Not any home runs going on there, folks. We see what Ricoh did with MindShit. Not any home runs going on there, so they can't do it. They're proven they cannot sell direct to the end user. Print anyway. So maybe it makes more sense for Konica to give all that print equipment to Tech Data and say, you deliver it through the resellers. We'll just ship it over here and let you sell it. So ladies and gentlemen, that $57 billion distributor has a potential to really cause some shakeups in our industry. But regardless, I'll tell you this. The old outdated model from 1980 where everybody was protected in their own little territory, in their own little counties, and you couldn't put stuff online, and you were selling like you... I mean, we can't do that anymore. I mean, we all agree with that, right? It's impossible. We're not going to have these $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million dealerships that are controlled by zip codes. It's not going to happen. We're going to have major players, Xerox, mega dealers, major players, the unknown new person that no one expects coming into the space, changing things. Changing things in ways that most of y'all just couldn't have imagined. So I strongly suggest you start imagining, because my friends, possibilities become probabilities and probabilities become realities quicker than ever. And all you watching me know this: status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.